for being here. And we're going to spend a good amount of time opening chest, shoulders, and doing some strengthening in our upper arms and into the shoulders. So in yoga, our heart, which is held in our thoracic cavity here, it's protected by our lungs. They're in front, right? And in yoga, our heart, it holds our highest truth. And they even say that in the innermost part of our heart, you could feel this physically, energetically, is the deep inner cave that holds our innermost self. Like that lives in here. And so it's good for us to make sure that our hearts are feeling open, there's circulation, there's energy flow. And so that's going to be through our just anatomical movement of shoulders back, side bodies long, and shoulder blades moving in and down the back. So you can just kind of feel that. You can articulate it, shoulders up toward the ears, shoulders back, and then shoulders down. So we've got this length through the side body to take our shoulders up and then back. And that's going to already help to open here in your innermost cave where your truest, highest self resides. So let's connect in with our breath here and begin to bathe our heart from the belly breath. So we're breathing into our belly, and then we're bathing our heart with the inhalation before we release our breath slowly out the mouth. And just noticing how much your breath in your belly expands. Can you expand a little bit more into the sides, into your lower back first, and then keep that going and really take the breath into the whole circular circumference of your thoracic spine and chest. It takes a little bit more of intention to breathe in this full way. And so if it feels pretty challenging, just practice and then let it go. And then come back again in and see if you can find more space for the breath to move. Always from our belly. And then it's bathing all sides of our heart. And then our heart softens, it releases, it lets go of what it's carrying, tension, resentment, sadness, just allowing that to be released out with your exhalation. Bringing that new inspiration and joy through the inhalation and bathing your heart in that energy. Okay, 2 more cycles of breath. We'll continue with this breath, this type of breathing, as we bring our fingers now up to the center points of our collarbones. And you're just going to move an inch below here, and we'll begin to tap on our body, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Activating energy flow, circulation releasing stress, releasing tension. It's like we're discharging here. We'll tap out to the upper corners of our chest, tapping on these neurolymphatic points that clear toxins from your heart, whether it's physical or it's emotional, maybe even feeling a little anxious, just helping the body to release that anxiety. To guide you, how can you be more focused? What can you let go of? Coming now to the center of the sternum bone, we activate our thymus gland that sits right in front of our heart, and they're connected. Connects us to having a healthy heart rate, temperature in our body being regulated, our immune system feeling strong. Good. Let's go out to the side seams of the low ribs. Tap here, deep breaths. And then traveling up to your cheekbones and lightly tapping here. Flick out your fingers toward the ground. Release that excess energy. Relax your hands on your legs. Breathe as you pause here. Let's take our right hand now up to our left upper shoulder here. And you're going to massage, or you can actually hold and squeeze the tissue here. Take a breath. As you exhale, slice your hand across your body to your opposite hip. And then we'll go to the other shoulder here. Squeeze or massage. And then slice your hand across to your opposite hip. We'll do this again. Left shoulder. Slicing your hand to the right hip. Left hand to right shoulder, massage. Maybe you found a nugget to really focus on and massage a little deeper. Then slice across the body to your opposite hip. One more time, right hand to left shoulder. Let's spend a little extra time here massaging. And then slice your hand across your body to your right hip. One more side here. Then slice across here to the opposite hip. Shake out the hands and let your hands find their home a couple inches off of your skin, right in front of your hips. And as you breathe in, slowly draw your hands up the center of your body. And as you exhale, release your hands out into your energy field. 3 more times with your breath. Drawing that earth nourishing energy up through your body on your inhalation. And on your exhalation, we're clearing our own energy field. Maybe we just had guests in town. Maybe we've had a stressful week. Whatever it is, let's just clear it. Clear the energy. Let's do it one more time. And then we'll place one finger into our navel, one finger right between the eyebrows. Press in and pull up on these 2 points and take 3 more breaths. Good. And then release your hands and shake them out. Bring your hands to prayer pose at the heart. So we're just going to come into some seated cat-cow movements. So as we lift our chest, our shoulder blades draw down our back. This is our cow shape here. Take a deep breath in and out. Good. Now you're going to connect your pointer fingers and thumbs. And on your next exhale, you're going to press your hands out, tuck your tailbone under, round the spine into this cat shape. Good. And then as you inhale again, let the arms reach up and back. And then exhale slowly, the arms come back to the heart. So that's the movement. And now you can just follow your breath. Inhale, lift your heart, shoulders draw down your back. Exhale, pushing. Really strong hands, strong arms, navel to spine. Inhale, get really light here in your chest, shoulders, and arms. And then exhale your hands and arms back and around. Follow your breath. Inhale to lift. Exhale, push. Inhale, get really light through your upper body. Exhale, releasing back and around. One more time. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale, push. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, back and around. Good. Let the hands rest at your heart. Take a breath. Good. We're going to take our arms out now, like cactus shape here. So you want to be really wide in your hands, like you're stretching from the center of your palms to your fingers. Shoulder blades are moving back and down to lift your chest. Beautiful. Now we're going to look over at our right hand and we're going to dip our pinky tip to the center of our palm and then stretch it back out. We'll do that with the ring finger, tip to the center of the palm, and then stretch it back out. So we'll just go to each finger, and as best as you can, do each finger individually from its neighbor. This is not always easy. Thumb, and then stretch the hand back out. Now slowly turn your head to your left shoulder, pinky tip to the center, and then stretch the pinky back out. Ring finger. So looking at your fingers, middle finger, ring finger, and then thumb. Stretch the hands back out, bring the head back up to center. Now you're going to take your hands, interlace them behind your head. Let your elbows draw apart. Good. Now we're going to slowly dip our chin toward our chest. Press the back of your head into your hands now. Breathe. And then press your head back into your hands as it slowly rises and take your elbows apart a little bit wider, okay? So we'll do that one more time. We're dipping our chin toward our chest. We're feeling the back of our head press into our hands, toning our neck. And then pressing into your hands, slowly bring the head back up and draw the elbows apart any amount more. Take a breath. Release. Good. And then just shake out the arms. And let's come up off of our seats. We're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. So use a knee pad if you want some extra padding. And we'll set up here in kind of a modified all fours. So we're going to walk our hands wide. And so when we come onto the mat, our hands are weight bearing. So we want to spread the fingers nice and wide and really root down through the ball of your hand. Tuck your toes under, but take your knees slightly wider like child's pose legs. So the big toes come toward each other. Draw your navel toward your spine. So we're going to shift our hips forward, release our front hips toward the ground, and now draw shoulders back as they kind of come right above your wrists here. As you exhale, you'll slowly take your hips back toward your feet. So you can stay here for a couple of breaths, or you can follow your breath and then let the movement go. So we're opening our shoulders, our chest, our heart, and then we're resting our heart. So a huge part of heart health energetically is really practicing self-acceptance, self-compassion, and maybe even self-love. So part of that with our practice is just really staying tuned in to what feels best for our body as we're exploring and breathing. So we might have to back off. We might have to take breaks. So the next time that you come up, just pause, look down at your hands. Your middle fingers are pointing toward the top of your mat. That's where we want, yeah. And then each finger is giving space to its neighbor. And then really press the earth away. So the arm bones are really toned. Good. Now let your shoulders again release back and your heart open. Beautiful. And then as you exhale, let's slowly come back. Child's pose. Go ahead and rest here in child's pose. Relax your head, whether that's on the mat or your two stacked hands or on a block. And just rest your heart. Good, and then come up halfway, stretch your arms out onto the mat and walk your arms over to your left and reach and extend your fingers and arms out as your right hip is moving back toward your right foot, any amount. Your head stays in line with your spine, or if it's close to the mat, you can let it rest. Breathing and opening here in your side ribs. Walk your arms over to your right. Send them out and away as your left hip reaches back toward your left foot. So you can always keep your hips higher and just let them go to their edge, breathing into those sticky spots. And then come back, hands out in front. Go ahead and rise up out of your hips and align your knees directly underneath your hips, toes tuck under. Right leg extends behind you. So with your right toes tucked under, we're going to roll forward onto our toes and lift our heel, and then press our toes down and extend our heel back. So we're just opening the sole of our right foot and into the backs of the toes. It's easy to want to drop the head here, but instead keep it in line with your beautiful spine. Good, and then press your toes down and extend your heel back. Take a couple breaths here as we move blood from our calves and it comes up to flush our heart. Good, and then we'll come and switch sides here. Left leg extends back, come onto your toes here and lift the heel and rise up onto your toes. We're just massaging into the little crevices behind the toes. Good, and then press your toes down, reach your left heel back, and enjoy 2 breaths here. Good, and then come back, all fours, back to the first side, right leg extends. Pressing the toes down, heel reaching back. Draw your navel to spine slightly. And now this left arm is going to raise up. It'll either just go straight out, palm down, or you can explore lifting your arm toward the ceiling and drawing your left inner shoulder blade in toward your thoracic spine on your upper back. And then reach out through your fingers. Feel that stretch in your low belly. Good. Option to stay here with your foot or to lift your right leg off the earth, parallel to the floor. Back foot is flexed. Breathe. And then release arm and leg down. Let's come off of our wrists for a moment. So sit back on your heels or come and sit full weighted. And we're just going to flip our palms over and just shake out our wrists, our forearms. Turn your palms over and then shake again. And then let's come back to all fours. Spread the fingers apart again. Root down through the ball of your hand. Your elbows are in a micro bend, and the eye of the elbows are looking at each other. Just kind of check in. That looks really good. Yeah. So left leg will extend back now. Press into the backs of your toes, and then draw navel to spine. Right arm extends straight out, or explore the arm rising and your right inner scapula, it's moving toward your thoracic spine and your upper back here. Extend out through your fingers. Option to stay right here or to lift your left leg directly behind your hip. Good. Reach out through the top of your head like a string is pulling you toward the top of your mat. Good. And then release down. Separate your knees apart. Child's pose. Big toes come together, whether you're on the tops of your toes or keep your toes tucked under. And then just let your heart rest, your head and your arms. So you might want to put a block under your head or stack your hands. And slowly rise back up. We'll come back into all fours here. We're going to take our left leg straight out from our left hip. Our foot's on the floor as best as we can. Might be a little slidey, so you just do the best that you can to grip your floor with that left foot. And then just walk your hands a little bit further away like we did at the beginning of this little sequence here. We'll draw navel to spine. Good. Let your toes point straight ahead as best as you can. That's really good. And then we'll inhale, come forward with our heart. And then as we exhale, we'll just slowly move our hips back any amount toward our right foot. Slowly moving with your breath. Check in with your hands. Middle fingers are pointing straight ahead toward the top of your mat. Really pressing down to the balls of your hands here. Good. That's really good. And then come back up, pause, regroup that left knee under your left hip, and switch. Right leg stretches straight out. Press the bottom of your foot down, toes pointing forward. And then begin to take shoulders above the wrists. And then hips slowly moving back toward your left foot. The hips don't have to go far back. Really just pay attention to what feels good for your left knee. Really rooting through the toes. The backs of your toes is going to help support your knee. And then we'll regroup our right knee underneath us again. We're going to come back and sit on our heels here. Toes can be tucked under or the flats of the toes. And we're going to do again that little release. Palms down, just shaking out. Flip the hands over and shake. So the heart meridian literally lives on our pinky finger. It travels up the inside of the arm to the chest. And so there's a lot of correlation with the health of our hands, our wrists, our forearms, our elbows, and there being healthy circulation and flow to our heart and the lungs that protect our heart. So you can do a little circling of wrists. And then just let the arms just shake out by your sides. Good. Yeah. So it's a nice release. We're going to do one more little pose here on all fours. So you'll start to notice your hands feel more open, don't they? They feel like they're huge. Good. That's the point. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pivot our right toes out, like we're on a little kickstand here. So it's just your right shin and foot. They turn out toward that 90-degree angle. Right hand is going to come forward, just another hand length. And we're going to transition so that we're going to weight bear on this right arm. Left leg straightens, foot is pressing down. Yep, you got it. Now, left hand is going to come to left hip. So right here, press down through your right hand, draw that tone up through your right arm to your right shoulder. Beautiful. And now take your left shoulder and soften it back. If it's feeling like balance isn't fully there on that right arm, keep left arm on the ground as well. Okay, so, and you can, I love it, just explore maybe a breath or two with balance, and then maybe we have to regroup, left hand on the earth. That's okay. Good. Anywhere that you're working, let your left side of your chest, let your heart radiate up toward the sky. Breathe. Some of you might take left arm straight up toward the sky. Beautiful. Some of you might lift your left leg off the earth, kicking it straight out from your left hip, toning full belly here. Good. Left foot comes down if it was lifted. Left hand comes down if it was lifted. And there's a transition back to all fours here. So this is called sunburst pose. Can you see why? So we'll go to the second side. We'll pivot left foot out, tuck your toes under. Left hand moves out, one hand length. Yes, so just take these in small pieces, right? So first foot, then hand, Now we're doing this, right leg straightens, right foot comes onto the mat. Right hand stays on mat or comes to right hip. So feel that rootedness through your left hand, left toes, right foot. Turn your right chest up toward the sun here. If you've been feeling a little dull, a little tired, a little sluggish, these heart opening movements and poses are just going to flush the heart with invigoration. So maybe that right arm goes straight up toward the sky now. Maybe the right leg lifts, foot is flexed, right out of your right hip. Breathe. Right foot comes down if it was lifted. Right hand comes down if it was lifted. Make your transition mindfully back to all fours here. And then child's pose again. Knees are apart to a comfortable width for you. Tuck toes or keep them on the mat. Hips soften, heart rests, head lets go into hands or your block or your mat. And take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And then we'll slowly rise back up. We're going to make our transition to our feet. And so we'll step one foot forward and then another foot or your only other foot. Step it forward, bend your knees a lot. Now let your heart release toward your thighs, hands resting on maybe your elbow tips, maybe blocks or the floor. It's like we're standing under a waterfall right now. Just let your whole spine cascade over your legs, releasing tension in your spine and your neck. Good. Let your hands come to your hips now. We'll just let the spine rise up halfway here. Chair pose, take a breath. Press down into your feet and slowly rise up. Straighten your legs. Relax your arms to your sides. Notice if your shoulders feel more relaxed back. You feel more open in your chest. You maybe feel a little bit more happier in your heart. Maybe, maybe not, but it's good to be aware. You all look wonderful. Good. All right, let's step out. Let's just let the body do its little shimmy and shake. It's good to just shake out the jitters of life, the tension. If we're holding it, maybe we're just in summer play mode right now. There's no stress, it's all play. All right, go ahead and clear your mat and then grab your strap. We'll do one of our other forms of shoulder flossing this morning, our infamous shoulder flossing with the strap. So just check in with your feet, track them straight ahead. You can put a slight bend in your knees. You want to just feel really solid there. And then let's revisit this idea of side bodies long. So when you lift your shoulders, your side bodies get long, yeah? Then they go back, the shoulders, and the shoulder blades move in toward your spine, and they go down. So kind of accentuate that, and then just let your shoulders relax. Let's do it again. Side body's long, shoulders go up. They go back, the shoulder blades move in. They go down toward your hips, and then the shoulders relax. Okay, so that's healthy shoulder alignment in your body. If your shoulders live like this, you can't breathe, your heart can't get fluid in circulation, you can't be open to life, right? It's just like you don't want it, you just want to be like this, right? But we're not meant to live that way. This is how we're meant to live in our bodies, in our heart, and energetically with this open heart. Okay? So we want to keep helping our heart to feel like it can open, because sometimes life makes it feel like we can't open our heart, right? We hold pain there. So we just want to allow that in just such kind way to just be free. We're holding whatever it is, resentment, anger, anxiety, sadness, just allowing its voice to be free so that we can live on again. With our hearts as open as the sky. So let's keep helping him do that. We're going to take our hands wide on the strap. Our gaze is out in front on a fixed object so that our chin hasn't collapsed toward the chest and it's not up here, but it's just living right over the center of our heart here. The arms are going to travel up. Here, side body's long, right? As we pull the strap taut, we want our elbows to be straight. Good. And then here comes shoulder blades in and down the back as the strap begins to lower behind us any amount. And then you'll just travel slowly back up. It's really good. And then relax down. So you'll just go at your own pace with your breath. Side body is long, shoulder blades in, shoulder blades move down. Oh, our shoulders are so happy. They are so thankful. We are doing this for them right now. If you find that you have an elbow that wants to bend, take a wider strap, wider grasp on your strap. Good, and then just let your gaze be out in front of you. Practice this heart opening posture. Ready? I'm ready. I'm ready to receive love, receive the goodness of life here. Good. Next time your arms are relaxed up front, take a pause. Whoa, ah. And then just shake out each arm and just let it go. Let the joints be really soft. And then do the other side. Okay, let's take our strap again. Really taut here. Gaze out in front. Arms are going to come overhead and back. Any amount here. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, side bend to, it doesn't matter what side, just go to a side. We'll go to the other one. Good, we'll inhale up. Exhale to the other side. So this side, we'll just keep moving that way with the breath. The side that you're side bending into, you're gonna balance that with belly tissue tone in toward your spine. So you'll go up, you'll go to the other side, the side you're side bending into, draw the tissue tone in. Feel your feet rooted. So good for our spine. Good, and then let your spine come up. And slowly release your arms down. Pause. If you want to do that little shake out, feel free to do that with each arm. All right, let's set our strap to the side. Okay, I'm going to have you come now into a wide stance. So just turning toward the long edge of your mat. Maybe I'll turn to your right. Turn to your right, and then we'll step into a wide stance here. And we're going to open our hips and do more heart opening in warrior two pose. So we're on our feet. We always want to feel the bottom of our feet when we're in these poses. We have what's called the four corners of our feet. They're the ball of our big toe mound to our pinky toe mound, back to our outer heel and to our inner heel. So imagine these are your chair's legs right now, under each foot. Press down into those places as best as you can, and then lift your center arches slightly up. It's like the seat of the chair. So we want to keep awareness in our feet as we turn our right foot out now to a 90-degree angle. Your front heel is bisecting your back foot in half. So when you look at your feet. Okay. So we're going to start here by taking our hands to our heart. And we're going to focus on what our legs are going to do now. And so we're going to bend our right knee. And we're tracking it straight ahead toward that second toe. A kind of a good, another kind of cue for your foot right now, your right foot, is you're pressing down and you're isometrically toning it out so the pinky edge of your foot is nice and rooted. As you bend your knee, that's going to help your knee to feel supported in this pose. Good. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to stretch our arms out like wings. We're going to gaze over our right hand, and we're all going to start to become archers here now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our left hand to our heart, like we're about to pull the bow, right? So we're going to pull our bow, and then we're going to straighten our left arm, and then we're going to bring the arm forward, and we're going to pull the bow again. So the arm goes out, it goes up, it goes forward. Yep. Let's do the other side. So we're here, we're pulling the bow back. We open the arm. The arm comes up and forward, and we take that bow again. Elbow draws back. We straighten the arm. The arm comes up and around. One more time. Pull the bow back. Elbow goes back. Arm opens. Good. And then let's keep arm open here. Turn your palms down. Take a breath. Press down into your front foot and slowly straighten your leg. And then relax your arms. Relax. Shake it out a little bit in your shoulders. Good. Now we're going to pivot that right foot in. We've got one more side to go. Left foot turns out. Good. Bend your knee. Take that left foot down and tone it out like a fan. Okay, so feel nice and solid in your legs here. And then we're going to take our left arm out. We'll take a hold of our bow here with our right hand, right elbow is back. We're pulling the elbow back. We're straightening our arm. The arm comes up and around, and we pull it back again. We're shooting love arrows out, okay? It's just like we're shooting them out. We're going to see who decides to, who we get with our love, who we're luring in with our love, right? Who have we baited and hunted with our love? We're just sending more love out. All right. Arm opens, arm comes around. We pull the bow back. We open. Arm comes around and we pull the bow back. Let's do it one more time. Arm opens. We come up. Pull. We take a breath. We let go of our arrow. Good. And then we straighten our legs slowly and we relax those arms. We turn our foot in. We'll step our feet together. And we'll let our body just do a little shaking here, shake it out. And then we'll just rest here in mountain pose. Feet under our hips, shoulders softening back, back of our head resting above our shoulder blades. Chin relaxed toward our heart. We're going to come down now onto our mat. And we're going to make our way onto our stomach. I like to use a blanket under my pelvis and my belly. You might like to also do that, just extra padding. And when you arrive here, stack your hands, rest your forehead on your hands. Relax your hips and your legs and your feet. And then rock your hips side to side. And then pause and breathe. Okay. So we're going to work in cobra pose here. And so what we're first going to do is we're going to lift our right leg slightly off the mat, point our toes, reach the leg behind us, behind our right hip, and then place our toenails on the mat. Left leg lifts, point the toes, reach it long, toenails on the earth. So you're pressing the toes down, your inner heels are isometrically hugging toward each other. Okay, now our hands are going to come right under our shoulders. Elbows are straight back. Fingers are in line with our nipple line. So we might want to slide our elbows back a little bit more. Good. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Feel your kneecaps lift off the earth. Tone your legs to your buttocks. Tone your low belly. Breathe. Bring awareness to your breath, moving to the space behind your heart now, right in between your shoulder blades. Breathe there from your belly. There's that innermost cave that holds the seed of your soul, your highest truth. Good. Now, we're going to isometrically draw our fingertips back toward our body. As our heart rises off the mat, our gaze rises just a few inches out in front. And now our whole back body is toning. Shoulder blades in and down, lifting through our chest. Beautiful. Breathe. Really rooted down through your feet and legs. Strong legs. You have to have strong roots if we're going to have open hearts. Deep breath. Good. Let your heart reach forward as you relax it down. Stack your hands, rest your forehead, relax your body. Shake your hips side to side. Relax. Okay, for our next variation of cobra pose here, we're going to take our elbows up toward the ceiling. We're on our fingertips this time. And our thumbs are lined up with each other. If we looked at our thumbs, look to one side. So our arms are literally like cactus shaped. So let them be out wide enough so that your elbows are lined up over your wrists. That looks really good. Yeah, and then come up onto your fingertips, Julie. There you go, yes. So we're gonna press our thumbs down. And then we're going to let our heart and our spine reach up out of our hips again. Strong feet, strong legs, just like before. Breathe. Good. Now, as we slowly lower down, our thumbs are isometrically going to hug or draw toward each other as we relax our chest down. Then we'll relax that thumb action as our heart lifts back up, still rooting through our feet. And then thumbs draw in toward each other. So you're going to feel your chest tissue light up with tone as you lower. And then you'll come up and relax that tone. Thumbs draw down and in toward each other. You'll feel your biceps light up with tone as well. And then relax as you come up. Do that 3 more times. And one more time. Get really light as you come up. And then thumbs press down and in as you slowly lower down. Good. Now relax the hands, stack them, rest your head, relax your legs and hips. Rock your hips side to side. And then relax. Tuck your toes under, place your hands on the mat, press yourself back up. Stretch your hips slowly back, any amount. Hips can stay above knees or reach them toward your feet. Puppy pose. Come onto your fingertips. Extend your spine, melt your heart. And then rise back up. Okay, so I'm going to have you take your block, set it at one end of your mat at the low height. That's going to be for your head. Take your blanket now, and we're just going to unfold it one fold with the fringes away from you. And you're going to roll it like so. Yep. That'll work. And then just set it, about 6 inches in front of your block here. Let's move down. We're going to come into a supported fish pose. So why don't you just watch first so you know where we're going. So what we're going to do is we're going to be bringing the top edge of our shoulders, the top edge of the shoulder girdle here, onto the far end here of our roll. We'll be taking a hold of our heads. You're just watching. And then you're just going to lift your hips slightly off the mat and scooch your head and your shoulders this direction. So the shoulders are in between the block and the blanket. And then the hips are going to relax back to the mat. Okay, so let's go together now. So if you kind of come down to your elbows first, You'll feel into shoulders to the rim of the blanket here. Take a hold of your head because you love your neck. Lift your hips slightly and now drag your shoulder and head over to the block here. The head rests, the shoulders are in between your block and your blanket. Your arms are rotating out and the backs of your hands are resting on the floor. Your hips are releasing down onto the mat. Your knees are bent. You could also choose to walk your feet apart and rest your knees on each other in constructive resting pose. If you feel no lower back sensation, then option to straighten your legs all the way onto the mat. Bathing your heart again from your belly breath up through that innermost cave of your own heart, which is behind your shoulder blades anatomically. So let your breath wash that space as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Enjoy 3 more breaths here. Walk your feet back in, hip distance apart with your knees bent. To transition, we're going to lead with the left side of our chest as we roll off to our right side. Use one hand to push the blanket roll behind us, and then rest your head on your upper arm and relax your heart toward the ground. So fetal posture here. And then use your hands to slowly press yourself back up. And we just want to transition onto our back here. You can unroll your blanket and make yourself a head support. And then have a block or a bolster nearby you. And then as you arrive here onto your back, go ahead and bend your knees. Feet are hip distance apart. We're going to take either the bolster will just be softer. It's slightly higher than the block. Or you can use your block. So we're going to lift our hips up and set our prop right underneath the back of our sacrum, the back of our pelvis. We want our lower back to be clear of our props. You might need to shift it south a little bit. Good. Come upstairs and tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. So your upper back is resting. Your chest is resting on your upper back here. And then option to stay here in supported bridge pose. Option to stretch your legs up toward the sky for supported shoulder stand. Either pose will bring some circulation and fluids into your heart. The legs elevated is going to do so even more with blood flow to your heart from your feet and legs. This is considered the mother pose in yoga. It's so nourishing to all of our organs, calming for our mind, and then it's replenishing our physical and energetic heart. Our heart has its own nervous system. That's why when we walk in a room, we can feel things, feel people's moods from 30 feet away. It has a radar system that picks up on energy. And so in whichever position you're in, you can let your left hand rest on your heart and your right hand rest on your belly. Just a soothing handhold for our heart. Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. Releasing your knees slowly, bend them, draw them toward your chest. Take a breath. Slowly place one foot at a time to the mat. Relax your arms to your sides. Rest here for a few breaths. Press down into your feet. Lift your hips, remove your prop. Lower your hips back down. We're coming into Shavasana here, so if you'd like to add a bolster underneath your knees, eye pillow perhaps, just let your body just splay out in all directions. Resting here for a few minutes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a slow breath out your mouth. Take another breath just like that. Breathing in a sense of just peace. Breathing out whatever's ready to be released out. Let's draw our left knee slowly in toward our chest and wrap our hands around our left knee. Your right leg can stay straight, or you can bend the knee, foot on the mat. We'll take 3 breaths here into our lower back. Put your left leg slowly out. Bend your right knee in toward your chest. Take 3 breaths here. Draw your left knee into the chest so both knees are there. Take a gentle rock on your lower back, side to side. Rolling onto your right side, pause here in fetal position, resting your heart toward the ground. Slowly pressing yourself back up. Take your time finding a comfortable seated posture once again. Let's take a couple breaths, just notice how you're feeling. Let's place our hands over our heart. Smile at your heart. Bow to your heart. Thank you, heart, for leading me, for opening, even when it's hard sometimes. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.